Good Wednesday morning to you all, YouTube. It's 10:07 now, as you can clearly see on the screen. This is July the 13th. Here with you today to respond partially to Bill, Old 64 Goat, his video of yesterday. I'll put that up on the screen. You can see that. Shop Flap, July 12th, 2022. In that video, he mentioned he was talking about the Samsung WB250F camera that both he and I and his son Tommy own. The ones that he and I have a problem. I don't believe Tommy's has the problem. I believe Tommy got the best deal. I think he gave $5 for the camera and it works perfectly. But Bill and I have had shared a problem with ours, and he talks about it on that. Let's see if I can go to that part here. I don't know if this was it. I think this is the part here.
ZB1971 posted a comment on your video, Doug, on the Samsung W250F camera, the video you made, but apparently it didn't show up, and he tried to give a link for the WB250F, which has the firmware, shows you how to find the firmware in this camera.
Now, that is true, and there is ZB1971's channel. And I don't know, for anybody who's not familiar with this person, they do a lot of doing posts of different URLs, links to websites, things like that, to help people out in their quest for information. And I say he, I don't know if it's a he, but anyway, this person does good work, is what I'm trying to say. And as such, I don't know what the deal is with the links that he posts, but here lately YouTube has seen fit to not let those through for some reason. I don't know if maybe somebody complained or what, but the fact is that they don't always show up, at least on my videos. Now, I don't know about anybody else's, but on mine, they don't always show up. And apparently this is one of those times, and Bill, as Bill mentioned, he did try to give me the link for that. And as such, Bill, I did email Bill and ask him to provide that link. I think he just ended up giving me the manual itself, and what that was, I don't have a picture of it. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. Okay, what you see on the screen now is the manual itself. This is for the WB200F, as you can see there clearly. There's a couple other cameras there listed, but obviously I didn't know if this would work. Now, this is the service manual, as it says right there, and that's the big difference between what I've been able to find and this. And you can clearly see down here on number 7, firmware update, and that of course caught my attention. Now, this manual does go over how to take this camera apart, and I guess disassembly and reassembly there you see. And as such, it could be repaired using this manual. Now, anybody that knows what the camera looks like knows that looks identical to what I have and what Bill has, and only the model number itself has changed. But again, I figured, being as it was that close, that it should work. So let's go to the firmware page. Let me find that real quick. Okay, the first thing we want to look at here is the version check. This tells how to actually check the firmware version of your camera. And there is the procedure. You basically hold the zoom button over towards wide, and that's basically pressing the lever over towards the power switch. And at the same time, hold down the shutter button there, and then you turn the power on. Well, I found it's, I don't have that many hands and fingers. So what I ended up doing was holding the shutter or the zoom button over to wide mode, and then I used my other hand and finger to hold the shutter down, and at the same time that held the zoom button down as in position it was in, and then I used my other hand to turn the power on. And what I got, and I will flash up a picture of that image on my camera, that shows what the firmware is on it at the time before I did any more work to it. In other words, that's the way I bought it. That was what was on it. And so there you go. That's what that looks like. And as I had been sent by Pat's Junk Drawer on YouTube, he had sent me a link to a file that was supposed to be the firmware for this camera, and I thought, what the heck, because I now have the way of doing it, because I was doing it wrong at first. Let me go down to show you that. There's what basically that it looks like. Now, of course, that's not mine, but that's what the display looked like. Now, here's how to update the firmware, and so this is basically telling you how to do it. Now, basically, you put in the insert the memory card containing the firmware data file and update script file. Here's what I was doing wrong. I was only using the data WB200, or in my case 250 bin file on the card. I was not including this FWX up text file, and both of those files are necessary to do the firmware update. And I actually took the card out of mine and used a SD card reader to transfer those files over to the SD card, and then I inserted it back into the camera, and then I turned the camera on, and sure enough, it did go through and update the firmware as it mentions here. You basically see several screens like this one here. And like I said, it goes through and it's copying the codes, does all that, and then it gives you the percentage that it's copying. And once it completes its thing, as it says here, when update is complete, camera will automatically be turned off. And that is exactly the way it worked. So, that was good. Now, whether or not that fixes the problem, I don't know. Only time will tell. And once I do this part of this video, we're going to go into the shop and take another camera and do basically a video like Bill did, where we turn the camera on and watch and see what happens. And maybe it will shut off. Now, it's been off ever since I messed with it yesterday, so it would be considered cold. So that was generally when it did it the most. Now, here lately, it hasn't been doing it, just like I told Bill when I made a series of 10 clips for my last DERB video. Only one time during that, and that was in the middle of those. I think the seventh clip I recorded actually messed up and went back into the went back into processing, and just like Bill will be mentioning on this part, I'm going to show you that. But it only one time did that, so I don't know if that was a sign that it was just I don't know. We're going to look at that here very shortly, though. I just wanted to kind of go over what I did to the camera before we do that, and we're going to go look at Bill's parts again to show you what his does, and it's exactly the same as what mine does. So in case mine doesn't mess up, you'll know. So anyway, again, I want to thank ZB1971 for this. This really has helped us a lot. It did enable me to change versions of the firmware on my camera and it may be on Bill's if this ends up working. I told him to wait until I try mine out a little bit and make sure that it does fix it. What I'm thinking on this is that the firmware on these cameras does get corrupted from time to time. I know my Kodak PlaySport, you guys may remember back when I was having problems with it, the firmware that I downloaded for it was the exact same version that was on that camera, but just flashing the same version into the camera fixed the camera, because apparently there was some corruption on the firmware that was on the camera. So, you know, it doesn't always have to be a newer version of the firmware to fix a problem. Sometimes either the same or even an older version will fix the problem. So that's one of the reasons I went ahead and flashed it. I thought, well, it doesn't matter to me if it's older or newer or what. I just want to see if there is a change. And so I have done that, and so far it has been performing, but again, it was warmed up when I did it yesterday, and so, you know, there's no telling whether or not that fixed it or not, or if the other items are the problem. We're going to watch Bill's thing here. Let's see his again. Hang on a second.
At first I thought, now I use my fingers, I don't have any pointer right now. I thought it might be one of these buttons here. So let's play around. I'm pushing that and it's still recording. So it's not that. Could it be the wheel up here?
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there. You can see that Bill tapping that wheel was enough to get the camera to go wonky, I like to say. So I really think that Bill has stumbled onto a problem with this camera, and because he could not get it to repeat that problem, I believe that was it is just a you know, very, very slight problem with the contacts. I mean, it would have to be something very slight, because again, if you watch the whole video, you'll notice he hits that thing pretty good and it's not doing anything. So, like I said, that's
maybe I just gave it a tap. You see how it's going there? Okay, let's do it.
So again, he goes through and does that again a couple times, but let's go back down to this place here where it messes up on its own. Let's watch that.
Oh, it just went off by itself. It just went off by itself.
So basically, Bill had just put the camera into record mode and was using his little magnification glass to find out if it was recording, and while he was doing that, the camera messed up. And that's what it does. Seems like there's no rhyme or reason to it. And like I said, it is usually does it within the first few seconds of it recording. But I think the time I did it on those 10 clips, the day I made the video for the last video I did on DERB, it went 12 seconds before it messed up. So again, no rhyme or reason, it seems to be. And I don't know, you know, that's, to me, if it was a firmware problem, I would think it would mess up all the time, and you know, and that would be it. This acts more like a problem with, just like what Bill did there and touching that wheel made it mess up. So I think it's a dirty contact, but I don't plan on taking mine apart as long as it stays working as it is. And again, I don't know if the firmware is going to make a difference too. We're going to find out. But like I said, that is what the camera does, and that shows you right there that you know, it's again no rhyme or reason. It just kind of does whatever it wants to when it wants to. And you know, anybody that's had a camera like that, and I went through that with the Kodak PlaySport, and that was very annoying until I got the firmware fix on it, and it has been rock solid since. So that makes a big difference on how much you use a camera, or it does to me anyway, and I think most people would agree. But anywho, that's that. So let's go in and now. Again, I have changed the firmware. I'm going to give you a shot of the original firmware on my camera that I bought when I bought it. That was the original firmware screen that you'll see come up first here, and then the one that Pat sent me the link for. I upgraded to that. I say upgraded. I don't know if it was an upgrade or not. But I changed the version to the one that Pat sent, and there is a picture of that also. So, like I said, that's the only thing I have changed at this point. So I don't know that it was going to be any different or not. Now I did notice when I first turned the camera on after doing the change in firmware, that the first thing it did was it came up with that, before I even pressed the record, came up and said in Smart Auto. I don't know if that's normal because it hasn't done it since. So I thought maybe that was the normal behavior, because when you turn a camera on, you like to know what mode you're in, so you don't have to actually look at the wheel and see. But it did come up that way, so I don't know if that was a characteristic of the firmware or what, but anyway, it did that. So there's where we're at. I just kind of hope that you understand that that is where we're up against trying to fix. And again, I want to thank ZB1971 and Pat of Pat's Junk Drawer for helping out with this. Both these individuals are very helpful. And especially Mr. I say Mr. ZB1971. He's a mystery person, and nobody really knows. Maybe somebody out there knows. I don't know. Also, while I'm in here talking blah blah blah, anybody out there that has one of these cameras or similar camera knows what these firmware numbers mean. Looking at the number again. Let's see, where's Bill? This is Bill's, by the way. There's his. So he was able to check his firmware version. Now, just looking at his, it says right there FW version. I'm assuming that stands for firmware version. Now it lists a DSP version, and there's the number there that you see. I'm guessing, and this is all a complete guess, I don't know, but I'm guessing that this first number, the 13, is the year. I would say 2013. That's my guess. Now, on the other two, I don't know. It's been postulated to me that this is 09 of 12 of 09, maybe, I don't know, the 9th or the 12th day of the 9th month, and that the 2 is a I don't know what you call it, kind of character, but it's not even used in the thing. So in other words, it would be 9/12 of 13. I don't know. That's a possibility. Now, if we look at the OIS version, that again, no idea. But it does have a 13 to beginning, which I'm again assuming is 2013. And this one says 0419 and with a 1. Now, like I said, I think the 1 and the 2, I think those stay the same on all of the versions. So it's possible that they are just denoting something else and not part of the date. I don't know. But if as such, I think Bill's this version here is probably the newest one of the ones that I've seen. Let me see if I can get to mine here, and we'll take a look at mine real quick. This is the first one I did. This is what was on my camera originally. Again, there you see the DSP version is 130326 and a 1 on it. The OIS version is 1207 of 2, or with a 2 on the end. So again, this is an older version, I can tell. You know, possibly because of the 12 here, but even here is 1303. So I think that's probably an older version. So this is the one, again, that I updated to. When I say updated, you know how I'm talking. But if you look at this one, it's 1302 21, and that, or 22. No, wait a minute. 1302 21. I'll get it right here in a minute with the 1. So this is an older version, obviously. And again, the 12, same. This is the same exact version here of the same as the other one was on. So I didn't change anything there at all. So I don't know. Like I said, again, if we look at Bill's, I think it's still up on the screen. It is. His seems to be the most up to date because it says 1309/12. So that would be the 9th month, 12th day. So again, and his has the later OIS version apparently, because it starts with a 13. So again, if anybody knows how to read these things and knows, but I think I'm pretty accurate in my assumption that this first number at least is the date, year I should say, 2013. And again, the rest of it is kind of a mystery because of the 1. But you see that the 1s and the 2s either go 1 or 2. They don't change from those. So I'm saying they're not part of the date itself. So anywho, now this rest of the stuff, the TSP version, I don't know what that has any meaning to me. Serial number, that's obvious there. You can see barrel numbered. I think these cameras have a separate lens from the. I know they have a separate lens because I watched the take apart on these. They do come out separately, but I don't know if that's what the deal is on that or what. And the other numbers down here, the VGA, QVGA, HD, and I don't know what that is, but like I said, that's just all I know about it. So again, what we're going to do now is basically go into the shop, and I'm going to use my other camera, which I'm trying to think what kind. Oh, JVC, and I don't know the model number offhand, but we're going to use that because it has a good close-up. And we're going to look at the camera like Bill did, and we're going to see if we can get it to mess up. Hopefully not. But again, we're going to try some things with it and see if maybe we can tell what the problem is on it, if it is a problem. So, you know, maybe the firmware fixed it. I don't know. Well, let's find out. Welcome back, YouTube. Here, back in the shop. It's 10:39 now. Same day, obviously. I do have the camera set up now, as I was hoping to do. This is the JVC camera that I'm using to record the Samsung WB250F. Again, I haven't done anything, haven't turned it on yet, haven't done anything. So let's do that first. Let's turn it on. And it is on now, you can see. There was nothing spectacular that happened there that I could tell anyway. Let me use my other hand here, and we're going to hit record. There you can see the record came up, and it is in fact recording now. I'm wondering if I could get a better shot of this. Maybe by coming down a little bit more like this. I think a head-on shot like that would be better. There we go. Anyway, like I said, there you go. There's a picture of that, and it's been recording now for whatever, however many minutes, and obviously it hasn't messed up. Now the battery, as you can see, I think by the indicator up there in the corner, is fully charged. And let's turn that off. Processing, that's good. And we're back to normal. Now again, that was normal. For anybody that doesn't know, that was normal. So let's try it again. Now I'm gonna just tap that before I even do anything else, just to see if that has anything to do with anything, but it doesn't. And let's try it again with it in that. Nothing there. I'm gonna tap the shutter button a little bit and some other buttons here, like Bill was doing. Nothing changed there. Nothing happened. I'm going to just basically take a small screwdriver and tap on the body of the camera a little bit. And that doesn't seem to have any effect on it. Let's do the lens itself. Nothing there. Nothing that I can, like I say, I'm not tapping very hard on it, despite what it sounds like. And all those things, you know, like I said, that's a good indication. That's rock steady now. So let's go out of that. And that worked just fine. And I'm going to keep doing this. And probably I will basically bring you back for any time it messes up. I'm going to keep the recording going, but I'm not going to make you guys sit through all this. So let me keep on going here. Also, I kind of wanted to point out, I think this camera will time out if nothing is pressed, and I think that's what happened with Bill's, why it shut off. Bill, I think if it goes into just sitting there, not taking pictures, not recording videos, I think the camera will shut off. And I'm trying that out now. As you can see, it just got dark. I think that's a power saving mode there. And I think from there it goes off completely. I believe. I could be wrong. But we'll see, I guess. I don't know what the timeout is on that, but and it may make a liar out of me. I don't know. I know a couple of the other cameras I have do that. If you don't record anything or you don't hit the shutter button or anything else, they will eventually power off. And so I assumed that this being a smart camera would be similar. And apparently it's going to make a liar out of me. One of the things on, let's see, one of the cameras I use, I can't remember which one it is, but it does that quite often to me, and it makes me mad because I know I forgot to press the record. When it does that, it'll go off, and I'm thinking, why did it go off? And then I realize I didn't press the record. So apparently this one's not doing that, but either that or it takes a lot longer than I thought it would. Again, I thought maybe that was it, but apparently that's not it. I don't know why your camera went off, Bill. Maybe yours has got that. Yours has a later firmware, I believe. So, you know. I really think, especially yours, Bill, with you tapping that wheel and it going off, I think, again, I think that was a momentary or a very, very slight contact problem. And by just touching that thumb wheel or that pinwheel, whatever you want to call it, I think that was enough to break the connection and make it mess up. So, you know, I'm guessing that rotating that knob would clean that contact. I don't know. I did rotate mine quite a bit, and of course with the camera off, obviously. But like I said, I just figured that was a good way of cleaning it, and so I did try that as one method of changing it out. And I think after I did that, I think I haven't had as much problems with the camera at all doing that. So apparently it's not going to shut off. Oh, there it went. It did shut off. How about that? I was right. Okay, so that was probably why that would explain why your camera was off when it stopped recording on you, Bill. So in case you were wondering about that, I don't know if you knew that or not, but let's turn it back on. And there you go. So let's go right into record. Uh-oh. There you go. See, now that does that, and I hadn't even hit the record yet. But it did that on the first go around after I updated it or changed the firmware. So I don't know. Again, I thought maybe that would be a proper way of doing it. This camera does that a lot. I noticed in the menus that it will pop up a little help screen, and sometimes it's hard to get out of that help screen when you're in a menu like that. So let's go ahead and hit the record. See what it does. Yeah, it is recording. We can see that. I've got this sitting on a board. Every time I make contact with that board, it messes the camera up a little bit. But again, that's not doing anything there. I think this time I'm gonna shut it off completely and then restart it again. It seems like that's part of the problem as well. I think it does it right after you start. In other words, if you start it up or turn the camera on and then go right into record, it seems like it does that. Let's see if it comes up with that smart auto thing again when we restart it this time. Nothing this time at all, so let's start recording now. So I have not got it to mess up yet. So I don't know what that means, but again, after changing the firmware, I have yet to see this mess up at all. Other than the thing you saw as far as flashing up the smart auto thing, and I don't think that was not in record at all. So could be this camera is just not. You know, a lot of these cameras are released and not fully vetted, I guess is what the word would be, and so as such they sometimes have bugs in them, and you would think the firmware would fix that. Not always though. So yeah. Alright, we're going to shut it off again. Wonder what happens if you took a picture or two in the middle of all this, just to see. I've never actually taken a picture with this that I know. Oh, there you go. Goes into Smart Auto. And I think that's part of the same problem. Because I thought before when I did that, if I hadn't pressed the record so quickly, that it might have done that and then gotten that out of the way, and then, you know, when I press record, it was fine. I'm going to take a picture with it. There you go, there's that. This has got one of those cameras where you touch down on it and then go down again. Most cameras are like that these days, I think. Let's play with the zoom a little bit. That's wide. That's a little too close. Alright, there you go. Now let's try some recording again. And let's try zooming in the recording. My record button seems to be sticky. Not record button, zoom button. Now let's record off. Turn off. On. Record. Now I pressed record, it didn't happen, so maybe I didn't hit it hard enough. There we go. Now I'm going to do something you probably shouldn't do, but I'm going to turn it off and record. It does process the video, so at least that's good. Like, wait and see if that smart auto comes up, but it didn't. It came up a couple times, so that tells me right there that's not right either, because if it does something once, it should do it every time you turn the camera on, I would think. So, again, this just may be a buggy camera. Period. Don't know. But if that's the only problem now, that's not going to bother me, because, again, you know, I've learned from using this camera not to hit the record unless the camera has been on for a little bit, and that's what I do now. So if that's the case, it shouldn't mess me up at all, I don't think. Of course, you never can tell. Never can tell, especially if it's a buggy camera, you just can't tell. But again, it appears to be fairly normal in the recording mode now, and which is good. So that's about all I can say about that. I will continue to use the camera. Oh, there you go. Went back into that. That was after the recording that time. So that is what it does. But usually only after you press record it does that. And now it's doing it out on its own. So, you know, again, I don't know if that's... You seen it pop up there, and like Bill said, it's kind of like a demo mode. It shows you the different modes and things like that, and I don't know. So maybe that's a part of the camera. I don't know, but so I just thought I would try it one more time just to see. But no problems. Oh, there it went. I had my finger on the button on the wheel. I don't know if I was making contact or what, but you can see it still does it. So Bill, I can only tell you that I think it's something to do with the contacts on one of these controls. Maybe not this wheel. I don't know. But now it shouldn't do it again. Usually once it does it, you know, it doesn't do it again. Again, like I said, 1 out of 10 clips that I did on that video, it messed up. And and again, it went 12 seconds on that one. So I wonder what I'm going to do. I'm going to do that, and I just flip the switch on the while recording, and you see coming back, it did mess up. So I don't know if that's got something to do or something I'm touching up here. Now I noticed I was touching up here when I did that, where the flash, I think that's the flash there, right there, I think. And I was touching up there. Let me try this again. I kind of like to see. So now it's in, you know, whatever. It's going to record. And I had it here. And I was touching it here. Oh, there you go. How about that? I don't know that we're getting any closer, but we've got it now where it'll mess up. Let's see. I'm going to basically hit record again. Touch it here and here at the same time. Nothing this time. Huh. So those are just, I guess, flukes, but they did mess up. We saw that. So again, it is absolutely not fixed just by changing the firmware. So that part we know. Change that again. I'm going to do that. Well, that time messed up. Went into the settings, which is where I'm at. Apparently that does that. Now I'm back to Smart Auto, and it went out of recording at the same time. So again, that shows you what happens when you turn the record button or the wheel while it's recording. So there you go, Bill. You didn't have to. I did it for you. That's what happens. So it's probably best not to mess with that. Now, I have tried in the past to record in different modes other than Smart Auto. So, like I said, I don't know. I'm trying to think which mode I was using. I don't even remember which one it was. Let's just put it in P, whatever P is. I don't think P changed anything, did it? Let's turn it off. Now it's in P, whatever P is. Okay, the smart, it says auto. It doesn't say smart auto. Let's just try the record. Nothing there, so let's go out of that and turn the camera off again. And I'll change the mode to what ASM. What ASM is, I don't know, but I'm going to try it and see. And hit record. Oh, messed up. Oh, whatever this is, apparently I messed something up by putting it into ASM. Aperture priority. And I don't understand any of that. I'm going to try to hit record and see if we can go out of that. We did. So apparently that's not a good video recording mode. I don't know what the S is. It looks like a camera with an S on it. Again, so let's try that. Okay, the auto is gone, as you can see. Let's just try the record on it. Well, apparently that works. Whatever mode that is. So, at least we're learning some stuff. I don't know how much, but so that works. S does, or whatever that is. Let's turn it off. Not sure what that is there at all. I can't even see it. It looks like a house. And we're going to try it, whatever it is, just to see. Apparently it records in any mode, but it doesn't like that ASM or whatever it was. Alright, that seemed to work okay. Turn it off again. Now we're going to go to the next one, which is looks like a star on the camera this time. I'm going to show you what that looks like. It's a star on a camera. And the next two settings, I think, are not recordable. One is the settings, and that's what we were in just a minute ago while I had it record, and it messed it up. Wi-Fi, I think, is just something to do with Wi-Fi, and I don't think that's a record mode either. Let's try this one. Okay, this must be something different. My Magic. Split shot, motion, photo filter. Obviously that's a menu of some sort, so that would not be a good way to try. I'm going to try it to record, just see what it does. Nothing. Well, I mean, it changed the menu, but didn't do anything, so turn it off. And we'll go back to auto. Again, I'm going to flip this a little bit just to clean the contacts both ways. And yes, I'm being a little rougher on it than I normally would, but hey, I would like to figure out what's wrong with this thing. So now it's back to auto. It came up correctly, I think. Let's hit the record. That seems to be okay now. Try a few of them. No problems. All right, well, I don't know that we learned a lot, but we learned some of the things that probably not to do. And I think Bill's probably right. No, you shouldn't be messing with this while you're recording. So I think we're going to let that go. And again, I'm going to just kind of monitor. I'm going to leave it in auto because that's where I like it at. It does what I want it in auto. And I'm going to keep using the camera. And I will report back to you when it messes up or if it messes up. As we saw, it did mess up since I've changed the firmware. So I'm not going to say that's a fix for it. I'm still leaning towards a contact that's less than perfect. I'll put it that way. So unless you want to take apart the camera, and I have watched take aparts on this camera, and that manual that I downloaded tells how to take it apart, but I don't plan on doing that. I have no desire. I can use it as it is, unless it really got bad to where it was unusable and then I had nothing to lose by taking it apart. Okay, then I might. But as it stands right now, no, I'm not going to take it apart. So, alright, that's going to do me. I think we're going to post this video and let you take a look at it, and you guys let us know what you think, both Bill and I. And anybody that, again, has a clue, more of a clue than we have on that firmware dating convention or whatever, let us know. And again, I don't think the firmware is the problem with this camera right now. I don't really. You know, I just don't see that happening because it did mess up. So, alright, that's going to do me. You guys have a great day. Thank you so very much for watching, and we will see ya.